Alright, y'all, we are back. This is part 2 of everything that's wrong with Jared Leto. His blind items, the allegations stacked against him, his weird cult. Let's get back into it. And y'all know what I always say, everything I'm about to say is alleged. I am just some bitch on the internet. You don't have to believe a word that I say. I implore you to do your own research. So we left off with talking about Suicide Squad. In 2016, he admits, I think on the red carpet, that he mailed his co-stars a bunch of weird stuff. This included beads of the long type that go up your back door, used hats for down there, if you know what I mean. He sent Margot Robbie a live rat with a love note, and apparently he also sent Will Smith bullets. Will Smith actually went on to state in an interview that he'd actually never met Jared Leto himself, that every time that they interacted, he was in character. He was in the Joker character, so he never met Jared Leto outside of being the Joker. As a celebratory gift for completing the film, he sent the entire cast a dead hog. But despite the fact that Jared was the one that actually brought up these weird gifts to begin with, once his co-stars began confirming them, he completely denied it. He said that he never sent those things to begin with. In 2017, it's alleged in a blind item that Margot Robbie agreed to reprise her role as long as she wouldn't have to work with him. Allegedly, he was constantly hitting on her and it was unwarranted and it was unwanted. A few blinds this year discuss Jared Leto's friendship with Terry Richardson. They've been really close friends for a really long time, and if you know anything about Terry Richardson, then you know he's got his own set of allegations and his own things going on. That's a whole other story. But according to blinds, they apparently have a history of tag teaming these younger models and apparently recording them without consent. In 2018, smack dab in the middle of the Me Too movement, Dylan Sprouse tweets at Jared Leto and says, "Yo, Jared Leto, now that you've slid into the DMs of every female model aged 18 to 25, what would you say your success rate is?" This sends Twitter into a frenzy, and then James Gunn pops back in and asks, he starts at 18 on the internet? Blinds around this time also alleged that he is scouring for young girls at EDC 2018, and apparently he ends up doing a photo shoot with an underage model who he then invites back to her home with her friend. Blinds allege that this year he had several shows where he invited teens backstage. In 2020, right around COVID, there were blinds that were stating that he had spent 2 weeks in the desert with an underage girl. If y'all remember around COVID times, he came back to social media at one point and said that he was at a silent retreat and that he had no idea that COVID was going on until after he came back. But the allegation is that he was instead with an underage girl. Blinds around this time also alleged that he was trying to buy up Tumblr, he was trying to buy up boy forums, just because they contained so much information about his little antics. Apparently in 2021, he was working on a film with actress Charlize Theron, and they got into some sort of dispute in which he proceeded to hit her, and apparently he hit her so hard that she went deaf in one of her ears for 2 months. Blinds alleged that him and the studio had to pay Charlize a pretty penny to get her not to press charges. So let's actually get into the cult of it all. Like I mentioned to y'all in part 1, the band started in 1998, and after the media started reporting that they had this cult-like following, they took that and they ran with it. In 2013, the band would officially consider itself and declare that it was anti-greed. Not surprisingly, this is also the same year that they had a meet and greet in which it cost fans $900 to meet them. For context, Rihanna in 2015 was charging $116 for her meet and greets, and they were charging $900. The band's fans are called The Echelon, and they are dedicated AF. Jared would actually mention in a radio interview once that one of his fans sent him a severed ear that he then made a hole in it, poked a hole through, and then wore it as a necklace. And then because he said it in the radio interview, he then went to Instagram to show proof of this severed ear necklace that he had. And obviously I cannot show the photo to you guys on TikTok, but you can look it up if you are built like that and you want to see it. In 2015, the band starts hosting what they call Mars Camp in Malibu. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's this retreat/festival, and it was pretty small. It was hosted in Malibu until 2019. It doesn't happen for a couple years because of COVID, but then in 2021, they bring it back bigger and better than ever. Because they end up expanding from Mars Camp to Mars Island, literally took their little retreat and took it to an island off the coast of Croatia and turned it into Mars Island. As you can see from the tweet, they're still playing on this whole yes, this is a cult thing. And from the photos, you can clearly see it looks like a cult. Most of the people in attendance are women, of course. And it's alleged that at this event, they call him Prophet, they call him God. Every single package includes 2 performances by the band that are done in these cathedrals, and they call these the Church of Mars. Now we should talk about prices because this band is obviously anti-greed, so you would think that they would have the most affordable pricing. But the prices from 2023, when this most recently happened, were insane. The cheapest ticket was $1,650. It doesn't include your flight, and it doesn't include even camping gear. You have to bring a tent and camping gear to fucking Croatia. The tickets escalate in different tiers all the way up to $7,150 for VIP. They even have additional other experiences that you can buy, like you can come a day early for $500. You can get one of 4 pre-made like 30 Seconds to Mars tattoos for $100. And not surprisingly, this is not the first time that they've like directed or asked their fans to get tattoos of them. Back in 2013, they had a song called Do or Die, and they asked their fans to tattoo the lyrics of the song to like have a chance to be in the music video. And I'll close this off with one final thing from someone who claims online to be like a previous Echelon member. She says that in 2020, after learning all about Jared Leto and his like behavior, she went to his Facebook page and she called him a demon and she called him a P-word. After blocking her, he allegedly found out where she lived. He was sending police there to do welfare checks all the time. Apparently, he also found out where she goes to school and then called the school and talked to her academic advisor. She only found out about this because the academic advisor called her to be like, hey, I just talked to Jared Leto. He's like calling about you. She says she was basically scared for her life. So that's everything I have for y'all on Mr. Jared Leto himself. What are your thoughts? Did you know about this? Did you not know about this? Is any of this surprising to y'all? Let me know in the comments.